Modern society moves at an incredible speed. Every day, people rush from one task to another, checking their phones, responding to emails, fulfilling responsibilities. The world demands constant productivity, and this pressure weighs heavily on the mind. Many feel exhausted, as if they are always running but never arriving anywhere. This sense of constant urgency creates a restless heart. When was the last time you sat in silence without distraction? When did you last experience a moment without the need to do something? For many, stillness feels unnatural. They fear that if they stop moving, they will fall behind. Yet the truth is, always chasing something does not bring peace. It only deepens the feeling of dissatisfaction. Many people measure their worth by how much they achieve. They believe that if they work harder, earn more, or gain more recognition, they will find happiness. But even after reaching these goals, the mind soon looks for the next thing. This endless cycle leaves little space for true contentment. Society teaches that success is external, but real balance comes from within. Consider the way nature moves. A river does not rush to reach the ocean. It flows naturally, without force. The seasons change without struggle. The sun rises and sets without hurry. Yet in human life, there is a constant effort to control time, to do more, to be more. This struggle leads to stress, anxiety, and exhaustion. What if the key to balance is not doing more, but doing less? What if peace is not found in achievement, but in learning to be present? Instead of fighting against the speed of life, one can step back and observe it. Even in a busy world, it is possible to move with a sense of calm. Balance does not mean avoiding responsibilities. It means carrying them with a lighter heart. It means understanding that rushing does not always lead to success, and that stillness is not the same as inaction. To live well in this fast-paced world, one must learn when to act and when to pause. Take a moment now. Breathe in deeply. Feel the air enter your body. Breathe out slowly. For just this moment, let everything else wait. In this simple breath, there is no rush. There is only now. People often try to control their lives, believing that if they plan carefully and work hard, everything will go as expected. They set goals, create schedules, and try to avoid uncertainty. This gives them a sense of security. But no matter how much one prepares, life does not always follow a straight path. Unexpected events happen. A job is lost, a relationship changes, health declines. In these moments, many feel frustrated or anxious, as if they have failed. But is the problem truly failure, or is it the expectation that life should always be predictable? Impermanence is a natural part of existence. Everything changes, from the smallest drop of water to the tallest mountain. The body grows old, seasons shift, and even the stars in the sky do not remain the same. Yet people resist change. They hold on to what is familiar, fearing that letting go will bring loss. However, it is this resistance that creates suffering. The more one tries to hold on to control, the more painful it becomes when things do not go as planned. Think about a leaf on a tree. It does not cling desperately when autumn arrives. It simply lets go, trusting the wind to carry it where it must go. In the same way, those who learn to accept change move through life with greater ease. This does not mean giving up responsibility, but rather understanding that not everything is within one's power. Some things must be met with effort, and others must be met with acceptance. When people embrace impermanence, they begin to see life differently. Instead of fearing the future, they appreciate the present. Instead of regretting the past, they learn from it without attachment. This shift in perspective brings a quiet kind of strength. the ability to face uncertainty without fear. Imagine standing in a river. If you fight against the current, you will struggle and grow tired. But if you move with it, the water carries you forward with ease. Life is the same. When one stops resisting what cannot be changed, there is less stress, less frustration. There is more space for peace. Take a moment now. Think about something in your life that you are trying to control. Ask yourself, is it truly within my power, or am I holding on out of fear? If you loosen your grip, even just a little, you may find that the weight becomes lighter. Life today is filled with noise. The world is always moving. Cars rushing down the street, messages arriving on screens, conversations filling the air. Even when people are alone, their minds remain busy, thinking about the past or worrying about the future. In this constant motion, stillness feels rare. But in truth, stillness is not something that needs to be found. It is already there, waiting beneath the noise, like the calm water deep below the surface of the ocean. Many believe that being still means doing nothing. They see it as a waste of time, as if every moment must be filled with activity or purpose. But stillness is not the absence of action. It is a space where clarity arises. A cup filled to the top with water cannot hold anything new. In the same way, a mind crowded with thoughts has no room for peace. When one allows moments of stillness, even brief ones, the mind settles, like a pond after a stone is thrown. Consider a candle in a dark room. When the wind blows, the flame flickers and struggles. But in a quiet space, it burns steadily, providing light. The mind is the same. When caught in chaos, thoughts jump from one worry to another, making it difficult to see clearly. But when given stillness, even for a few breaths, the mind becomes steady, and things appear as they truly are. Some may think, I don't have time to be still. My life is too busy. But stillness does not require long hours. Even a few moments can make a difference. It can be as simple as pausing before speaking, taking a slow breath before answering a message, or closing the eyes for a short moment to reset the mind. These small pauses create space in a crowded day. Stillness is not something that must be found in a quiet mountain or a distant temple. It can exist in the middle of a busy street, in the noise of a city, in the heart of daily life. It is not about escaping the world, but learning to carry a quiet space within, no matter where one is. Take this moment now. Let go of the rush. Let go of the need to react. Just be still. Even for one breath. In this moment, there is nothing to chase. There is nothing to fix. There is only this breath, this stillness, this space of calm within you. Many people feel as though they are swimming against the current of life. They struggle, pushing forward with great effort, only to find themselves exhausted. When things do not go as expected, frustration arises. When obstacles appear, they resist. But what if the key to balance is not in fighting the current, but in learning how to move with it? Life has its own rhythm, just like the ocean waves, the change of seasons, or the rising and setting of the sun. Everything moves according to its own time, yet people often try to force things to happen faster, or hold on to what is meant to pass. This resistance creates tension, both in the body and the mind. True balance comes not from controlling life, but from understanding its natural flow and learning to move with it. Imagine holding onto a rope that is being pulled from the other side. The harder you grip, the more strain you feel in your hands. But if you loosen your grip, the tension eases. Life works in a similar way. There are times when effort is needed, but there are also times when the best choice is to release control and trust the direction life is taking. When people resist the natural flow, they become trapped in unnecessary worry. They ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Or, "What if things go wrong?" But when they learn to move with life's flow, these questions become less important. Instead of struggling against what is, they begin to adapt with greater ease. This does not mean giving up or being passive. It means responding with awareness. A skilled sailor does not fight the wind. They adjust their sails to move in harmony with it. In the same way, when challenges arise, one can choose to fight against them with frustration or to adjust with wisdom. Take a moment now. Think of something in your life that feels like a struggle. Ask yourself, am I fighting against the natural course of things? Is there a way to move with this situation instead of resisting it? Even a small shift in perspective can bring greater ease. Life is always moving. The more one tries to hold it still, the more difficult it becomes. But those who learn to move with its flow will find that balance is not something to be forced. It is something to be discovered in the rhythm of life itself. Modern life is filled with complexity. People are surrounded by choices, information, and responsibilities. They believe that having more success, more possessions, more experiences will bring happiness. But often, this pursuit only creates stress. The more one owns, the more one must manage. The more tasks one takes on, the less time there is to rest. In this way, life becomes heavy, burdened by things that do not truly bring peace. Simplicity is not about having nothing. It is about knowing what is essential. Imagine a traveler carrying a heavy bag filled with things they do not need. Every step becomes difficult, and their energy is spent holding on to the weight. But if they remove what is unnecessary, their journey becomes lighter, and they can move with ease. In the same way, when people simplify their lives, they free themselves from unnecessary burdens. Many believe that success means adding more achievements, more possessions, more activities. But true success may lie in subtraction. When one removes what is not needed, what truly matters becomes clear. A simple life does not mean an empty life. It means a life filled with what is meaningful. Think of a quiet space. A room with only a few things, carefully chosen, brings a sense of peace. A conversation with few but sincere words carries more depth than one filled with unnecessary talk. A day spent with one meaningful activity is more fulfilling than a day filled with distractions. When life is too full, it becomes difficult to see its beauty. But when space is created, clarity arises. Simplicity can be practiced in small ways. It can mean letting go of objects that no longer serve a purpose. It can mean choosing to focus on one task at a time instead of many. It can mean appreciating small joys instead of always chasing bigger ones. These small changes bring lightness to life. Take a moment now. Consider one thing in your life that feels heavy. Is it truly necessary? If not, what would happen if you let it go? Sometimes, by releasing what is unnecessary, one finds that what remains is enough. The world may be complex, but life does not have to be. In simplicity, there is space for peace. In space, there is room to breathe. And in that breath, one can find balance. Balance is not something found outside. It is something cultivated within. The modern world will always be fast, uncertain, and full of distractions. There will always be responsibilities, challenges, and unexpected changes. But despite this, it is possible to move through life with a sense of ease. The key is not to change the world, but to change how one moves within it. A balanced life is not about controlling every situation or avoiding difficulties. It is about responding with awareness. Just as a tree bends with the wind instead of breaking, A person who cultivates inner equilibrium learns to adapt without losing their center. This balance is not something achieved once and kept forever. It is something to be practiced each day. There are simple ways to nurture this sense of equilibrium. One is to create small pauses in daily life. Before rushing to the next task, take a moment to breathe. Before reacting to a difficult situation, take a step back. These pauses allow space for clarity, instead of being pulled by habit or emotion. Another way is to simplify. Too many distractions, too many desires, too much attachment to things beyond control, these create unnecessary suffering. By focusing on what is truly important, life becomes lighter and the mind becomes clearer. A simple question to ask is, does this bring me peace, or does it add to my burden? The answer often reveals what is essential. Equilibrium also comes from accepting the natural flow of life. Instead of resisting change, one can learn to move with it. Instead of holding on tightly to what must pass, one can learn to let go with grace. This does not mean giving up. It means trusting that life unfolds as it should. Lastly, balance is strengthened by small, mindful choices. Walking slowly instead of rushing. Eating with awareness instead of distraction. Speaking with care instead of reacting thoughtlessly. These small acts create a foundation of steadiness in a world that often feels unstable. Take a moment now. Feel the weight of your body on the ground. Feel the breath moving in and out. In this moment, there is nothing to chase, nothing to fix. Just this moment, as it is. Balance is not a place to reach. It is a way of being. And when one moves with steadiness, even in a changing world, peace is never far away. Life will always have moments of uncertainty, challenges, and change. But within each person, there is the ability to move through these moments with steadiness. Seeking balance is not about escaping the world, nor is it about achieving perfect stillness. It is about learning to live in harmony with what is, finding peace even in the midst of movement, clarity even in the midst of noise. The journey toward equilibrium is not a straight path. Some days, the mind will feel calm. Other days, it may be restless. Some moments will feel light. Others, heavy. This is natural. Balance is not about never losing one's way. It is about gently returning to center whenever one drifts. In daily life, even small moments of awareness can bring steadiness. A quiet pause before making a decision. A deep breath when feeling overwhelmed. A simple act of letting go when something is beyond control. These moments may seem small, but over time, they shape the way one experiences the world. There is no need to rush this process. There is no perfect way to practice. What matters is taking each step with care, with openness, with a heart that is willing to meet life as it comes. And with time, balance becomes not just something to seek, but something that naturally arises from within. I am grateful that you have taken this time to listen, to reflect, and to explore these ideas together. If these words have offered something meaningful to you, I truly appreciate your support. Whether through a kind comment, a like, sharing your thoughts, or simply by being here. Your presence, in whatever form it takes, is deeply valued. For those who have chosen to subscribe to this channel, or to offer support through super thanks, please know that it is received with sincere gratitude. These gestures allow this space to continue growing, reaching others who may also be seeking a sense of peace in their lives. Thank you for being part of this journey. May your days be steady, your heart light, and your path filled with moments of quiet clarity. Wherever life takes you, may balance always find its way to you.